Okay, well, hello. I hope you enjoyed that little skit that I've just made. If you can't already tell by that skit and the title of this video, today I'm going to be talking to you guys on how I like to take flatlay photography. I'm going to break it down into like 3 different tips and points, but before we actually get into it, let me show you some of these flatlay photos that I've taken over the years. I absolutely love taking flatlay photography. It's sort of in the same field as product photography, but taken from like a bird's eye angle. So pointing down to the subject or product. Well anyway, the first point that I want to make is texture. As you saw at the start of the skit, I end up taking the lighter and putting it first of all on my desktop, my drawers, and basically like a plain background, and there was no really texture there and it was just boring. It doesn't help make that product stand out really at all. And so I headed to my wardrobe and found a t-shirt and then scrunched up the t-shirt to give it a bit more texture and then laid down the lighter on top of it. I've used that method many times before, including this photo right here, and it's a really good way just to add a bit of pop towards a photo and make it more eye-catching and different compared to just a plain background. And with that said, that's going to bring us on to my next point, because you can add so many things to add texture and details, but if you add too much it can make it look too busy, and if you don't really add anything at all it's just going to look a bit boring. So you want to really keep things balanced, and balanced is the key point there. If I was to add some big objects to the scene, then I'd normally put them around the edges poking in from the side, just so they don't overpower the image. Obviously you've got the product there, the main subject, and if you start adding in these big objects, that's going to be taken away from the main subject. It's not going to look very good. But then with these big objects it's going to leave these empty spaces, and so I then like to add maybe some small little details to help fill in these little blank spaces. With these little small objects, and well, even the big objects, you can use that to basically help integrate the photo together. So if the product was metal, you would want to add maybe some metal things around that to help stylize the photo. But we're saying that they don't need to be exactly linked to that main product. A lot of the time I like to use like something like the same material or same color, and they're the little details that are really going to help bring the photo together. Details within the photo takes things to another level. As you saw at the end of the skit, I ended up using like this old bit of dead wood and shaking it and rubbing it to basically get the dust and old bits of wood onto the surface of the box to once again make things a bit more interesting instead of blank. Obviously you also saw that I used my vape to add some smoke to the scene. There's many different ways to do that, like you can use a fog machine, you could use some incense, or you can even add it in post. but adding that bit of smoke helped really bring in the image together and bring a bit more of a different atmosphere into the photo to basically join it all together. There is definitely many different ways to take these type of photos, but there's some of the pointers that I always like to keep in mind when I take them. You can get really creative, or you can keep it basically simple and minimal, and that's the best thing about it. You can add your own personality to it. Well, anyway, they are the main pointers that I like to keep in mind when taking these photos. I hope some of these might have helped you. If they did, then make sure you tag me in the photos. I would absolutely love to see them. Thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Safe.